Could a sporting event like the U.S. Open men's final become a stage for exposing the deep political divides surrounding a former president? When Donald Trump appeared at the tournament in New York, the moment instantly moved beyond simple ceremony and into the realm of symbolism. His arrival was preceded by major traffic disruptions caused by his motorcade, leaving spectators waiting for more than an hour and already frustrated before he even stepped onto his balcony. That frustration translated into a wave of boos the moment he appeared on screen during the national anthem, punctuated by scattered cheers but clearly dominated by disapproval. The dynamic was not surprising. Trump has long been a polarizing figure whose presence at public events outside his rallies reliably produces both cheers and jeers. The reaction was not new either. Back in 2015, when he attended the U.S. Open as a candidate, he faced similar hostility. What makes this year's incident more striking is the revelation that the United States Tennis Association had already anticipated this outcome. Reports show they sent messages to broadcasting networks instructing them not to air footage of Trump being mocked or booed, effectively trying to shield him from public embarrassment. The language of those communications explicitly requested that networks avoid showing disruptions or negative reactions connected to his presence. This move reveals a broader pattern. Institutions, media outlets, and event organizers often attempt to insulate Trump from criticism because of his notorious thin skin and tendency to lash out when portrayed negatively. The irony is sharp. A man who built his political brand on toughness and defiance appears unable to tolerate public rejection, forcing others to tiptoe around his ego. Critics argue that by indulging his sensitivities, institutions behave not as responsible gatekeepers, but as enablers of a spoiled personality, preventing him from facing the natural consequences of his unpopularity. Instead of allowing the public to see a raw and honest reaction, they manufacture a sanitized version of reality in order to avoid his wrath. This infantilizes the political landscape, turning the president, or former president, into a figure treated more like a tantrum-prone child than a leader capable of handling dissent. Beyond the immediate embarrassment, the situation raises deeper questions about democratic transparency and media responsibility. Should broadcasters conceal public discontent to avoid offending a powerful figure? Does silencing the sound of boos undermine the authenticity of public sentiment? If the role of the press is to document reality, then shielding leaders from negative optics is a direct contradiction of that mission. Furthermore, it creates a chilling precedent in which political figures can exert pressure, either directly or indirectly, to control how they are represented in the public eye. At the heart of the incident is a clash between image management and reality. Trump was booed because a sizable portion of the audience disapproved of him, just as many Americans do. Trying to erase or suppress that reality does not change the sentiment itself. It merely conceals it. The crowd's reaction reflects not only frustration over delays and disruptions, but also accumulated anger over his presidency, his behavior, and the controversies that continue to surround him. By pretending those boos never happened, media outlets risk alienating the very public they are supposed to serve, reinforcing perceptions of bias and manipulation. In the end, the episode demonstrates how fragile the boundary is between entertainment, politics, and media. A tennis match became a political spectacle. A crowd's frustration turned into a political statement. And media organizations found themselves caught between accurately reporting events and protecting the image of a man who cannot stand to be seen as unpopular. It forces us to ask, is this about Donald Trump's personal pride? Or is it about the broader question of whether American democracy can still handle truth without fear of offending those in power? And most importantly, will future generations remember this as a fleeting embarrassment at a tennis tournament? Or as yet another sign that the culture of shielding leaders from criticism has taken deeper root in American life? So the ultimate question remains, was this just another moment of Trump being unable to face reality, or a warning that society itself is slipping into a habit of protecting powerful figures from the voices of the people?